Hi everyone, and welcome back to my next video. Today it's just a few days before Christmas, and so I thought I would do a Christmas video here with my best bud Cody and I. We are in my van, and you've all been wanting to see the inside of my van, and I know I never let you see it. This is as close as you're going to get, I'm pretty sure. It's a dark, dreary day, so I have to be inside. It's kind of been raining on and off all day, so I'm just in here, and the door's open. All this is natural light coming from outside, and Cody comes and goes, but he'd kind of rather be with me and getting a head scratch than outside in the rain and mud. So here we are, and I thought I'd like to talk to you about Christmas. And so this is as close to a Christmas video as I'm ever going to do, and it's not going to be a very traditional Christmas video, I'm afraid. I do wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You know, I wish you all the very best in life, in whatever choices you make in life. I wish you the very best. But it's not going to be a traditional Christmas video. In fact, it's going to be, in a sense, an anti-Christmas video. I mean, let's face it, that we all know something's gone terribly, terribly wrong with Christmas the way we're celebrating it now. It's a Christian holiday, and I'm not a Christian, so I don't celebrate it as a Christian. But I think we all know, and I think even the Christians would step up and say, you know, something's gone terribly wrong. This is not what we think anyone thinks Christmas should be. The consumerism, the orgy of buying and lust for more. It's just, no one can think this is an appropriate way for people to live and be. What's happened is we've all got caught up in expectations, and that's what I want to talk to you about, that word expectations. We all have an idea of just what life should be and what we should have in life. This is the way my life should go. This is the things I should have, I need to have, and I must have. And if I don't have them, something's really, really wrong. When I was a kid, we wrote lists. It was standard. You'd write a list, and Mom and Dad, if they could afford it, they would get it for you, and it would spread it around, you know. My sister would write a list, and my mom would buy this, my dad would buy that, and when I was young, they'd give me $20 and say, go buy these things for your sister. I did the same thing, and we did that until I was a young man. In fact, if my mom had her choice, we'd do that today. You know, she's in her 80s, and I'm in my 60s. But we would still be writing lists if I would let her. I've kind of insisted that we cannot do that. So we have these expectations of what Christmas should be. And because they so rarely live up to our expectations, it can be a depressing time because we have extreme expectations, and the expectations are really so high, we can't live up to them. So today we've made it extreme giving. And it's full of expectations. This is what Christmas needs to be. This is what I need to have. If I don't have this, it's not a want, it's a need now. And if I don't have it, I won't be happy. And because we don't get it, or if we get it, it doesn't make us happy. It's just a simple fact that if you can't be happy with little, you will never be happy with much. I think everyone must know at some level that's true. If you can't be happy internally with who you are and what you are, with just a little bit, with enough, getting more will not make you happy. And the gap between I got it and I'm still not happy creates depression. It creates unhappiness and creates the need for more. Well, okay, I got that, but it didn't make me happy. I'll get a little more, and then I will be happy. That will do it, just a little bit more, and then I will be happy. I know I will. So you get the little bit more, and it doesn't. I'm sorry, it will not make you happy. If you don't change who you are inside, you will never be happy. No amount of adding on junk and crap and a bigger house and a better bathroom will make you happy. And I get people all the time, I'm inviting you to a new way of life that I believe will make you happy because it will change who you are on the inside. You'll stop looking to things to make you happy, and you'll start looking to the earth and to people and to the things where real happiness can be found. But I tell people that, and I get these comments, oh, I couldn't possibly live in that small space. I couldn't live without a shower. I couldn't live without a toilet. I couldn't live without central heat and central air. I couldn't live the way you were. It's impossible. You're an animal. I get people that write me and tell me that. You must be animals to live like that. Homeless bums to live in a van, and you don't have a shower. You must stink all the time. Ooh, you don't have a toilet. You poop in a bucket. You're an animal. You're nothing but an animal. And people, fortunately, most of them don't say those exact words, but that's kind of what they are saying and how they feel. So let me give you a definition of expectations. An expectation is a constant need for life to be a certain way. If it's not a certain way, I won't be happy. In other words, an expectation says my happiness comes from outside of me, my outside circumstances. It's how much I have. It's how big my house is. It's how good my job is. It's how much money I have. It's how pretty my wife is. It's how well behaved my children are. My happiness resides on the outside of me. And if I chase the things on the outside of me enough, then life will be good and I'll be happy. Of course it isn't. That's a lie. But expectations say the world outside of me has to be a certain way for me to be happy. And that's what we chase. We chase after outside things. And the things, and we get it, it becomes a fiendish, devilish, vile cycle. I get it. I have my needs met, but that's not making me happy. So I get my wants met, but that doesn't make me happy. So I get my luxuries met, and that doesn't make me happy. And so I get my extravagant luxuries met, and I'm still not happy. So there's always the chase of more and more and more. And it's never satisfying. And so the expectations, instead of decreasing, and my wants and needs being fulfilled and happy, there's this orgy of searching for more, constantly more. And that's what the Christmas lists are all about. You teach a child to want the newest toy, and he'll grow up wanting the newest toy, and that's what we do. And the corporations, of course, we all blame the corporations, and there's a lot of truth to that. There's no question. The corporations feed us with hunger and lust for more all the time. Everything you see on TV or on any media is full of lust for more. You've got to get more. And that's just the wrong way to go about anything in life, is the search for more. You've got to say enough. I'm happy right now. You have to eliminate your expectations. You can't reduce them. That won't do, because they'll just come back and they'll just creep in again. You have to get rid of you have to let go of your expectations. I am happy today. If my needs are met and I have enough to eat, and I have food and shelter and water and clothing and friends and family and life is good, that's all I need and nothing more. Excess beyond that will become a burden. It won't make me happy. It will become a burden. Why would I seek after more of a burden? You see, our ancestors, hunter-gatherers, were all nomads, and to gather more things was a burden. It made life hard. They threw it away. If they could, nearly everything they had, they could find again or make again at a new location. So they simply threw it away. And when they got to the new location, they made it, or a few things they took, not many. It was only what they could carry. Anything beyond what they could carry easily on their person or in their van, if you're a nomadic van dweller, is a burden. It hurts you. It takes away your joy and your happiness in life. It diminishes your contentment in life and creates expectations, and expectations only disappoint and only make you more unhappy. So how do you let go of expectations? Step number one is to develop a child's mind. A child is delighted by everything. Simple, basic nothing things. You give a kid a toy, you've all seen this. I had kids. If you've had kids, you've seen this. If you give a kid a toy, he takes the toy out and plays with it a little bit, and then he becomes absorbed with the box. Because it's inherent in human beings to prefer simple things. But then you set the kid down in front of a television, and what does he watch? He is brainwashed by corporations to specifically want the newest and the best. And so then he'll start crying because he wants the newest and the best. Of course he will. He's been brainwashed to do that. So you have to become childlike in your view of life, delighted with the simplest and smallest things. To sit outside and watch a sunset is one of the great joys in life. I plan every evening to go for a walk so I'm out when the sun sets. And it's just my greatest joy. I plan in a clear night, in a very starry place with not much light pollution, to go sit outside and look at the stars. To sit by a creek and watch it bubble along. So be delighted. Teach yourself in a childlike way to be delighted by the simple, small things in life. They will never run out. They're there. You don't have to buy them. You don't have to slave away as a wage slave to someone else to get a bubbling brook or a beautiful sunset or a glorious flower, a glorious field of flowers. They're everywhere around you. I pursue them with my whole being, and they never, ever leave me empty or disappointed. I've never gone to a beautiful place to see the wildflowers and left disappointed. I've bought a lot of crap that a week later was meaningless and I threw it away. I have gotten tons, and you have too, of Christmas gifts that were in the landfill within 6 months. They never satisfied. They never pleased. They left you more empty than you started with. But I'll tell you what, a glorious sunset has never left me empty. A beautiful star-filled night where the Milky Way is just all across the sky has never left me disappointed. Friends, to gather with friends and to laugh has never left me disappointed. And none of that will cost you a thing if you can learn to embrace your inner child and find delight in simple, small things. So that's your first step to letting go of expectations. Embrace your inner child and become delighted by flowers and bugs and skies and stars and moons. And yeah, maybe you can buy a big pair of binoculars to study the stars. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not in any way saying don't buy things. Things are bad. Nothing wrong with things. Things can enhance that. Buy a program for your computer or your smartphone that shows you the constellations and learn them, or whatever you in life enjoy. Find joy in the simplest aspects of life and then add to it with our modern technology. Nothing wrong with modern technology. Get a solar panel to run your laptop and take pictures. That's how I've never been disappointed. My happiest moments in life have been behind the viewfinder of a camera. Period. See, modern society and Christmas is all about loving things and using people. You use people to get what you want, the things you want. We have to reverse that. Become childlike. Children do not love things. They love people and they use things. So that's the very first step. You have to leapfrog back. So here's your happy childhood. And you were probably a happy child at some point. Some people weren't. They had horrible parents who ruined any possibility of them being happy. And I'm very sorry if that happened to you. But hopefully for the majority of us, and there's a way around that, but we're not going to talk about it. Hopefully, here was your point in time where you had a happy child. Then you went to school. And all your sense of wonder and all your sense of childhood joy was bounded out of you. And you were trained with all kinds of assumptions and lies and brainwashing. And so here you are now. The last time you were happy, probably in your whole life, really truly happy, in the truest sense, was back here. You have to leapfrog back over all this nonsense and lies and go back to the child mind, to the sense of wonder, to the sense of not having any assumptions. No child begins with an assumption. He doesn't assume I have to poop in the bucket. He begins with the assumption he poops in his diaper. That's what he did. Well, what's the difference between pooping in a diaper and pooping in a bucket and putting it in a bag and throwing it away? Not much. You just do it for yourself. See, that was pretty happy then, wasn't it? I think most of us were very happy then, or we should have been. If we weren't, I'm very sorry. So you have to leapfrog. These are ways to leapfrog back over all the lies that are in the middle, the untruths, the falsehoods that turn you into a slave, that turn you into a beast of burden to be used up until you're 65 and then thrown out. You've got to leapfrog over all that, and I'm showing you how. So the next step then is to develop a beginner's mind. What do I mean by beginner's mind? So a beginner's mind is the mind that is completely open to what's going on around it. So you come in, you've heard of the phrase beginner's luck. You learn a new game, and you start playing it, and you keep winning. You win. And everyone says, look at this, it's beginner's luck. And how does that happen? You don't have any expectations. You don't have any certainty that this is the card I have to play. You kind of just follow your inner intuition and your inner thoughts. Well, that might be a thing to do here, I'll do that. See, you stop doing that when you develop an expert mind. You start, well, I know this is the best thing. You ignore your intuition. You ignore what your inner self is telling you. And your inner self is generally much wiser than you are. So you have to develop a beginner's mind. Begin with the assumption that you don't know much. And much of what you know could very well be wrong. That phrase, that concept, is how I completely changed my life. When I was forced into a van, I, all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, was happy. So it occurred to me, I've been doing everything society told me, and I was never happy. Here I'm doing exactly the opposite of what society told me. I'm living in a van. How much lower in society can you get? I'm living in a van. So for me, that happened. I threw out all my old ideas when I moved into a van. Before I lived in a van, I did everything that society told me. What they told me to do, I did. I got married, I had kids, I got a job, I got a career, I worked, I bought, I did what they told me. And I was never happy. I followed the American dream, and the American dream was a nightmare for me. I was never happy the whole time. And then I was forced into a van by a divorce and no money. And for the very first time, initially it was miserable, awful, but soon I became happy for the very first time in my life. And I thought, what is wrong with this picture? I obey society, I follow it to the best of my ability. I did a reasonably good job of following the American dream, I think. And yet I was miserable my whole life. And I move into a van, and for the first time I'm happy. I threw out everything society told me. I said, nothing I have been told before now is true. I'm going to live my life new, all new. I developed a beginner's mind. So I kept working. I did in nearly every way, except I was living in a van. I lived just like I always had. But I was open to questioning everything in my life. Just because I'd been told to do it, I wasn't going to ever do it again. I was going to question. Now, how much sense does this really make? How much sense does it make to keep buying things I don't want? I don't want this. I really don't want this. Why do I keep buying it? Why at Christmas do we keep buying each other all this junk just to throw it away? And we did. My mom loves stocking stuffers, so we'd buy little $1, $2, $3 things, put them in stockings, open them up, and then a month later it's in the trash. Every bit of it was in the trash. It was just junk. And so why am I doing that? Why am I endlessly pursuing things I don't even like or care about? Why was I working at a job for people I didn't really like to buy things to impress people I didn't really like and didn't really want and never made me happy? That just made no sense. And I dedicated myself to living a different way, and I have found another way to live. And that's the whole point of this channel, to tell you there's another way to live. If you will simply release your mind from all that you've been told to search a new and embrace a new way to live, you can. But you have to let go of your expectations. If you have the expectations you're going to live the life you have now, and you're just going to move it into an RV or into a van, nothing will change. Your life and your expectations have to change. You have to begin with a beginner's childlike mind. I'm going to find out what makes me happy because I don't know. If you're determined now that a big house, a lot of money, and a big toilet, a toilet and a big toilet and a big shower is going to make you happy, then you're not going to be open to any new ideas. All your expectations will become a prison that circles your life, that circles and encloses and grips your heart. It grips your heart and says, nothing else will make me happy. I can't do anything else. This is what I have to have. I got to try harder. I got to work harder, more, better. I got to work. Got to get another job. I'll get another job, and then get all that stuff. And I'll be happy. And then you're not. And you know you're not. You know already when you say that to yourself, it's not true. You're not going to be happy. It's so sad. It's so very sad that we have been convinced, we've been brainwashed to believe that nonsense, and it is nonsense. It will not be true. It will not make you happy. So let me call this the third step. Become an explorer. And when I say become an explorer, assume you're going into a new, uncharted territory. First, in your own heart and mind. You're going to an uncharted territory that you've never been to before, and you have no idea what it's going to be like. And you don't have any idea what you are going to be like. You can become a new person. What if you could become a new person? Explore that idea. What if I could think differently? What if I could feel differently? What if I could act differently? What if I weren't locked into my old thoughts, actions, and behaviors and feelings? So become an explorer of your own self. Why do I feel this way? Why do I act this way? Why do I expect these things to be just this way? And when you find them, if they don't work for you, and they almost certainly are not, throw them out. Just simply throw them out and say, I'm not going to act, believe, or feel this way from anymore. I'm going to try something new. That didn't work. I'll try something new. That's all. Simple act. Simple decision. That didn't work. I'll try something new. What's that new thing going to be? I don't know, but find out. Try it. Keep trying it. Keep trying it in every way. Now let me tell you one more thing you're going to have to do to let go of your expectations, to cast them out of your life, to have a whole new way of living and thinking and feeling. You're going to have to be willing to break the rules. It's just that simple. Our society has put a straitjacket of rules, of normalcy around us, and we cannot break free of that sense of normalcy. And it just constrains us and holds us. It's like a python grip that's squeezing it, and any effort to wiggle free of it, it squeezes a little harder and you can't get out. So you have to be willing to break the rules. It's just that simple. I did a video on the morality of being a van dweller, and you're simply going to break the rules. You're going to. Either legal rules or moral rules or standards of decency and normalcy. Pooping in a bucket is indecent. It's immoral. You can't do it. You must not do it. Got to poop in a bucket means you got to live in a house, which means you got to get a job to pay for the house. You got to have a mortgage. You have to pay the banker. He has to get rich off of you. The people who run this toilets, who run the sewer and water, have to get rich off of you. Everybody needs to get rich off of you. You have to live in a house. You have to. You can't poop in a bucket. You can't live in a van. So break the rules. The beginner's mind is not bound by the rules. He says, okay, I'm supposed to play this card now, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna play this card. Wait, everybody looks at him. You can't play that. You can't do that. That's no good. Well, it's in the rules, isn't it? I'm not breaking any rules. Yeah, the rules say you can do that, but we all know you shouldn't. You should not do that. And then you win the game because you broke the rules. You broke the standards of normalcy with your own practical way. Yeah, you're not going to go around and kill people and rob people because we're a tribe and we treat each other all for one, one for all. That rule is never broken. That is an inviolate rule. But society's petty little rules and standards of decency and normalcy, throw all those out because they're all lies. But the rule of one for all for one, do no harm, that is an inviolate rule. It can never be broken. Every other rule is subject to examination and rejection. So that's the beginner's mind at work and why beginners win and the experts around him lose. So there you have it. I know that's long. I know this has been a very long video and I've talked on, and I apologize. But I hope that you can see to some degree that eliminating your expectations in these simple ways that I've laid out can really make your life better. Okay, so as always, I hope you've got something out of this. If you have, I hope you'll share it with your friends and share it on your social media, that you'll like us on YouTube and subscribe to our channel. We want to carry this message of joy and happiness to as many people as we can, and that's how it will be done. Word of mouth, one person to another person. That's the way this message can be shared, and I hope you will. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.